Hey everyone, it's Alex, and today we got a bit of a different video because we need to discuss something that's incredibly important for the health of both Marvel Snap and its player base. I'm seeing a common thread amongst many people in the Marvel Snap community, whether it be in my comment section, in the comment section of other creators, on Reddit or on Twitter. We're seeing a lot of people discuss the concept of burning out playing Marvel Snap. Now, this is nothing kind of unique in the sense because when you play a game for as often as we play Marvel Snap, perhaps burnout becomes a natural onsetting factor. However, I think that with the way Marvel Snap is currently designed and the way we currently engage with it, we're burning out a little faster and a little differently than we're used to. A common sentiment that I'm seeing amongst Marvel Snap players is that a lot of people are actually taking a step back from the game and just playing enough to complete their daily missions and continue their progression track, which I think is important because it goes to show you just how important the collection element of this game is. The thing that actually keeps people coming back and keeping them playing isn't so much the ranking up or the competitive element of it, but it's the collection, the idea of like finishing your daily missions and continuing to progress. It's an important note. But why is this? Why are people not really motivated to play as much as they used to? Well, there's a couple factors, right? First of all, you have the people that have been playing since beta or release, and like you just kind of been playing the same game for a while and you want to try something different, right? New games are coming out all the time. You don't play Mass Effect 150 times unless you're the guy that played Mass Effect 150 times. Marvel Snap is a little different than a single player game that you kind of play once and put on a shelf. It's a game that you keep coming back to. A game that every single time you search for a new opponent, you have a new experience and you never quite know what's waiting for you. The meta is shifting and quite frankly, you're always excited to play the game. However, there's a few things that are changing here that are kind of impacting people's enjoyment. So let's talk about those and how perhaps you can mitigate them to continue enjoying this game that we definitely love. Now, there's a bunch of things that I think are contributing to this burnout for players, one of which is going to be that new cards are coming out every week that are supposed to be changing the meta up. However, the only thing that really changes the meta up are major patch changes because no one can play the new cards that are coming out anyway. And so like when a new card comes out, 99.9% of the player base doesn't really care. The meta doesn't change. It doesn't shift. They can't engage with a new meta or with the new card because they just can't play it. They either don't unlock it, which is extremely unlikely as a Series 5 card, or they don't have enough tokens to buy it. So the meta doesn't actually change. Again, patch changes change the meta. And that's exactly what we saw with Thanos and Sandman. The actual introduction of new cards has no impact on the actual game state. And I think that kind of contributes to the exhaustion that a lot of people experience. As a content creator, I kind of see a different side of this where if I release a video about a Series 5 card that just came out, people aren't excited to see me play with this new card. They're actually infuriated that I'm playing with a card that they can't play with themselves. So like, the release of these new cards is a major source of frustration. And anybody that is playing those cards who saved up their tokens, I mean, good on you, you saved up tokens, I guess, but every single opponent you beat with that brand new Series 5 card that might be overpowered like Darkhawk was when it originally came out, that person you're beating is just pissed off because they feel like you paid to win in the game. So like it creates this resentment with the new cards being released every week that I think is really contributing to this like exhaustion and this kind of overall negative sentiment that it feels like surrounding the game right now. Thanos is a great example of this right now because this card, which is a Series 5 card, which is supposed to be a perpetual Series 5 card, is now crushing the current meta. So anybody that doesn't have the 6,000 tokens or hasn't unlocked it through natural progression, which is near impossible because I'm like collection level 7,000. I've unlocked one Series 5 card, one. So, I mean, yeah, you're not unlocking Series 5 cards naturally. You have to play your tokens and there's 6,000 and you barely get tokens as it is. So yeah, it's frustrating when Thanos is running wild. Anybody that can buy it or was lucky enough to unlock it is just crushing you because you don't have any other choices. You're playing Kazoo and like, here's Thanos and you just lose, right? Like I totally understand the frustration. Thanos embodies a major frustration. I mean, just take a look at my video that I released for Thanos. It has like one of the top builds right now. And like the chat in like kind of the comment section is filled with resentment and not for like nothing. Like the people have valid concerns. It's an expensive card in Pool 5 that is now crushing and they just don't have an option. They don't have the tokens to unlock it. They don't unlock it through progression. So what do? Like they just lose. Like they have no other option and it seeds this frustration that I think is really starting to build in the community. And it doesn't help that one of the major problems that I talked about in prior videos is that progression after Series 3 completion is literally non-existent. You really don't unlock any Series 5 cards. You don't unlock Series 4 cards. You unlock the odd variant, but only the really cheap ones. You usually just get like random assortments of tokens, but it's not even enough to like reliably unlock cards in the future. So what do you even do? And I think this is a major problem with the exhaustion people are feeling. Like you're on this hamster wheel and you're running, but the only thing that's really happening is you're just getting tired. So what do you do, right? you just keep playing, and eventually you get stomped enough by Thanos players and other guys who, unfortunately have these Series 5 cards where they're buying bundles or whatever's happening and they're getting the tokens, and you're a free-to-play player. What do you do, right? I don't have the answer, and this is why the frustration, I think, is building. All of these issues are then amplified when you consider this fixation that we all have on getting to infinite. To be completely honest with you, it's not healthy and something has to be done about it. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm engaging with the game in a very unhealthy way right now. I'm pushing myself to infinite, not because I want to get to infinite, but because I feel like I need to get to infinite, because like other people have put this pressure on me that like I can't be a content creator unless I'm infinite, or my opinion or my content's irrelevant if I'm not infinite. And it's been an attacking point for other people in the past. Other content creators have used my rank as an attacking point. I don't have the time to push to infinite, but I'm going to do it anyways because I feel like I have to, and it's not healthy. And it's not healthy for you guys to do that either. You don't have to be infinite. And this is kind of therapeutic for me to say this. We don't have to do that. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in this kind of environment where card games are competitive by nature, and we, as content creators, we push this like narrative that if you're not infinite, then your opinion doesn't matter. Or if you're not infinite, then you're not a good player. If you're not infinite, then why are you even playing in the first place? And it's completely inaccurate. This is a game that's meant to be enjoyed, and we need to engage with it in a healthy way so that we can have fun, which is why you play games in the first place. So I really do believe that this fixation on rank that we all have, myself included, isn't healthy, and I think we need to let it go. It's okay to engage with the collection system. It's okay to just unlock variants and level them up and look at the new shiny effects. I love that part too. It's so important. It's so important that we engage with this game in a healthy way, or else we are going to burn out. Each one of us is going to burn out. And I think that right away, setting aside that expectation of having to get to infinite is probably the most important thing we all can do right now, because I think it is a major thing that frustrates a lot of people. Adding to this rank anxiety is the fact that, well, you reset 30 ranks at the end of every season. So people that are infinite, first of all, they get the infinite floor, so they can't drop below 100, so they can actually have fun and play the game. Could you believe that, having fun playing Marvel Snap? So when that happens, they get to actually enjoy themselves and play the game for real. And everyone else is so scared to go from 81 to 79 because then they'll get deranked by 30 ranks at the end of the season, which creates this hamster wheel effect that we were talking about before. Where like, really, if ranking is all that is important, well then after every single month you lose 30 ranks and have to grind them all the way back. I mean, that feels terrible. So perhaps the idea of having this monthly reset is not a good idea. Maybe it should be every 2 months. Maybe we need to extend the time it takes for us to have those resets, because like, people are just stressed out. They get all the way to 80. It takes them a month to get to 80, and then they get reset to 50. And God forbid they fall down to 79, because then all of a sudden they get reset all the way to 40. There's something to be said that perhaps this whole situation is just of our own making. Maybe Marvel Snap was never meant to be played like this. Maybe it was never meant to be played for hours a day, grinding towards infinite. I mean, Ben Bro themselves said that part of the inspiration for the game was that someone was on the John and broke their leg because they'd been playing Hearthstone for too long, and they needed something that had a smaller time because Control Warrior made them break their leg on the toilet. So, I mean, Marvel Snap's not going to do that to you. Snappy games, 3 minutes, right? But that's not really what we do. We don't treat Marvel Snap like a 3 minute in, 3 minute out. We treat it like this, like, oh, I'm going to binge it for 2.5 hours on a stream, or I'm going to play it all day and try to get to infinite rank. And then you just lose rank and you tilt out. And maybe we're just doing it wrong. Maybe we're engaging with the game in the wrong way. Maybe our mindset's wrong. Maybe we're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Maybe Marvel Snap was never meant to be played like this. But then again, why is the ranking system designed the way it is then? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Maybe it's part of the reason why we're feeling this fatigue, right? It's a game that I felt like was supposed to be a casual thing to enjoy, and we're not really treating it that way, are we? So what do we do? What do we do? I mean, I love Marvel Snap. I don't want to stop playing. I love playing. I love streaming. It motivates me. I can't wait to stream Marvel Snap. I can't wait to make YouTube videos about Marvel Snap. I consider myself so blessed that I have the opportunity to record a video like this and send it out on the internet, and people watch it, and people comment, and people engage with it. Like, I'm so blessed. And yet I find myself in this situation where I feel like I have to make a video like this, because if I don't, I'm scared no one else will. And if we don't have these discussions, then we're all just going to burn out. And our favorite game is just going to fade into obscurity because no one's left to play it, because we've all just burned ourselves out, fighting for ranks, fighting for cubes. So what do we do? I mean, the first and obvious thing is to just play for fun, right? Maybe I need to reinforce this with myself, right? Play for fun. Don't stress so much. Don't focus on the rank. Just play the game and maybe you'll rank up. Who cares if you don't? Enjoy the game, enjoy the collection. I mean, that's actually a good point there. The collection element. You almost forget about that sometimes, right? And I will tell you, one of my favorite things to do is just to like go through my collection, look at my variants, look at all the different variations of my variants I have. I've also found a new love for the Marvel comics and the MCU because of this game. I was never huge into the comics or MCU or the lore, and I find myself looking into it. Maybe you join communities online, join Discords, Reddits, where perhaps you can organize and meet new friends and play battle mode and don't have to worry about cubes or winning or losing and just play Agent Coulson and have fun, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be at the end of the day? It's supposed to have fun. I think the thing I really want to leave you guys with right now is that this is an amazing game. And I think we should stick with it. Because I think that Second Dinner is doing an amazing job. And I think that these are people who are really committed to making the best game they can. And you see that passion with just the sheer quality of everything they release. Nothing is like haphazard. Nothing is rushed. Everything is carefully thought out. There's love that goes into this game and you can see it. But I also think it's healthy that if you need to take a break from it, you can take a break. Or if you need to take a break from playing competitively, you can do that too. All I want to say is that if you want to take a break, and if you feel like you need to, we'll still be here. The game's still going to be here. I'll still be here. And no matter what, at the end of the day, it's so important that you find a healthy balance for you to engage with the game in a way that's healthy for you, that's enjoyable for you, and most importantly, fun. Because without fun, there's no reason to play. Thanks for watching, guys.